Hello, you're joining us for a virtual interview. Introductions have already been made and we're joining for a snapshot of the interview process. Firstly, the interviewers are asking the questions to a group of candidates and then they'll move on and ask individuals questions as well.
Okay, so everyone, this is the first question that we'd like to ask you as a group. We'd like you to have a discussion about this before you answer. So we'd like to ask you, how would you improve the department to be more appealing to the customer group?
Do you want me to answer this? Yeah. Okay, right. So I think to make it more appealing, I like to make things look really, fancy, drawing people in, making it nice and comfortable. And obviously, the food looking good. I know it's second hand, but it would be looking really nice so that the customer wants to come in and have a look. Yeah. So that's what I think. Anyone else?
Yeah, I agree, Kay. I like that as well. Yeah, I think by motivating, or how I would do it would be by motivating the team with regular meetings, and making sure the shop was up to date with health and safety and food regulations, to making sure that the customer feels that it is safe. And also as well for the customer experience, making sure from the moment that person is getting out of that car to right to the till that the shop is looking clean and it is comfortable for that person and that whole customer experience to
that's what I said as well.
Yeah.
I agree with you both, and but I do think we need to keep things looking smart. Although this we're selling food from other companies,
Sorry.
I think things need to remain smart so that the company's image is not that it's some sort of second-hand type shop. So I think image is quite important, and we keep the keep the place looking smart.
I agree there, Paul.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah.
Lovely, thank you. So how would you motivate your staff during the busier times of the year? For example, during our festive season, we're working long hours, we have a really high footfall, and right through to January when we have the major product sales, it's very busy and there's lots of what we're asking of our teams.
Yeah, well, I'd like to go first on this because I like to keep my team motivated, and I think that should happen both in and out of work. So festive season, brilliant. Get the Christmas parties going. It'd be nice. I didn't notice on your details. I mean, I've noticed you've said perk boxes, but it would be nice if we could have sort of like a perk for the Christmas party. And like put some decorations up for the customers.
Okay, thank you for that, Kay. Thank you. Anybody else? Lavinia, could I go to you?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So obviously Christmas is particularly a busy time for everyone, isn't it? Particularly for shops and local businesses. So by motivating the team, I think I would make sure and acknowledge to them that I'm aware of how busy we are and how difficult it'd be at times. So make sure that they're aware of that and keep telling them that they're doing a great job. And if I need to, lend an extra set of hands, I certainly will do that. Part of being a team is mucking in, isn't it? And then obviously just reminding them of the staff wellbeing service as well, so making sure that no staff members feeling a bit burnt out and that we're all looking after one another. And then obviously just reminding them of I'm sure we'll have a work due at some point, and just getting them to look forward to that.
Yeah, lovely, thank you. Thank you, Kay, for shutting the door. That's lovely. It does make it easier if we don't get distractions. I appreciate that, thank you.
Yeah, I think that as well, Linda.
Paul, how would you respond to that question?
Yeah, I think the other two have fairly covered it fairly well. Just to remind the staff that I would be buying the first round once we can get through all this together, and we can all have a bit of a party. I would also remind them as well that a lot of companies are closing, and so keeping ourselves busy, making things look good. We are in a thriving company at the moment, so there's lots of closures at the moment. So we would all bond together and make sure it was a really good Christmas.
Yeah,
It's a shame it's not 2 jobs, Paul, because if you're buying the first round, I'll be there.
Well, once in post, Kay, I shall be looking for your application.
Lovely, super. Okay, so the next questions is a set of individual questions, and so perhaps Paul, we could start with yourselves. So firstly, could you tell me a bit about yourself and what brings you to being here for interview today?
Yes, hello, good afternoon. I'm interviewing for the team leader vacant post. I worked for Foodfast, which was one of your competitors, but because of the current pandemic, they've gone into liquidation. I was a team leader for Foodfast, so I think I would be an ideal candidate for this post.
Thank you. I'm sure there's some good experience there. And I think, Katie, is there another question for Paul, or are we doing them? Sorry, no, I'm sorry. I do apologise. As interviewers do get it wrong sometimes. So it's the same question. We'll run round with everybody else. So Kay, could I ask you the same question about what brings you here for interview today with us?
Well, looking at the role, obviously, you know, I've worked in a cafe. I wasn't sort of the manager, but I may as well have been, you know, because I did everything. So, you know, organising the staff in there, making sure, you know, the food was ready, and buying in, you know, your teas and coffees and stuff. So, you know, I've done that role, and I've noticed, to me, you're a little bit of a mixture of two, because you've got the food element, but it's also, you know, the recyclable bit. And I have worked in a charity shop. Yeah. So I think I've got the best of both worlds.
Okay, thank you, Kay. Thanks. Right. Lavinia, how about yourself? What's brought you here today?
Yes, so I've got experience of working in shop management before. So I've worked with a big retail company that offers both clothing and food. So I'm up to date with all the food regulations, and I understand about health and safety. I've got quite a big interest in upselling as well, and I'd like to study, so I think I could offer that to the team as well. Yes, and it just looks like a really good company to work for, and I think it matches all my values and beliefs, and yeah.
Lovely. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to pass you on to Katie for the next question now.
Excellent. Thank you. Great to hear all your answers there, definitely. So I've got a couple of questions now. So I'll start with you again, Paul, if that's okay. So thinking about your own strengths and skills, what can you bring to our team?
I think because I've done this post before, working for Foodfast, I've worked for Foodfast for 17 years. I was able to get the most and the best out of my colleagues. I think it's been an approachable and a resilient type manager that is one of my strengths and skills. I think letting my staff know that they can come and speak to me at any time. But with 17 years experience with Foodfast, I've got quite a lot under my belt.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Paul, for your answer there. And Kay, if I go to yourself now. So what strengths and skills do you feel that you could bring to our team?
I just know, you know, that I'm just a great team player, but, you know, I do tend to take charge because that's what I'm good at. You know, and I like my team to know that we can, you know, do... Sorry, did you go somewhere?
We're still here, Kay. Are you having some technical problems?
I don't...
Can you hear us, Kay?
There you go, you're back. Sorry about that.
No
Forgot
problem.
to put it in. Yeah, so I'm pretty good with the team. You know, I like to do inside and outside work. I mean, this morning I've been running with one of my old team colleagues. You know, we just get on so well. You know, so I think that speaks volumes. You know, that they want to be with me even when we're not in work. So yeah, I just know how good I am at being part of a team.
Okay, that's great, thank you. And Lavinia, so what strengths and skills can you bring to our team?
Yeah, so I feel I have a professional appearance and I take pride in building working relationships. I'm quite methodical and organised, so I think that's really good, you know, when you're working with tight deadlines.
Yeah, I am as well, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really enthusiastic about developing our teams, and I've got experience in management. And yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, so sounds like everyone's got a great range of skills and strengths, definitely. So my next question then is around sort of any weaknesses. So Paul, I'll go to you first again. So do you feel that you have any weaknesses or any areas that you'd like to develop further?
Just put it down. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry, Amazon. I beg your pardon. Could you repeat the question, please?
No problem, of course. So do you feel that you have any weaknesses or areas that you'd like to develop further?
Well, as I've said, with my 17 years experience, I think I have a proven track record. And once you've read my references, you will see that I don't think I have any weaknesses at all, actually.
Okay, thank you. And Kay, so how about yourself? Do you feel that you've got any weaknesses or developmental areas?
No.
No?
No.
Okay, you happy for me to move on then, Kay?
Yeah, I honestly haven't got any. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So Lavinia, how about yourself? Have you got any identified weaknesses or developmental areas?
Yes, my weaknesses, I think I wasn't great at health and safety. I wasn't up to date with all the current legislation. However, I am working on that at the moment by taking my NEBOSH course.
I am. I've got that.
Okay, brilliant. Well, thank you very much for your answers there. I'll hand you back to Linda.
Lovely, thank you. I'll just remind you these are the individual questions, so I will direct them to one individual at a time, if I may. So the first question then goes back to teamwork, which we have touched on in previous questions. Paul, could you tell me, how do you feel you work as part of a team? And then secondly, could you give me an occasion when you've worked positively with other team members?
Yes, I think a really good example is, as I said, I did work for Food Fast for 17 years prior to going into liquidation. But once it was decided that all the stock would be liquidated, we had 2 weeks to get everything moved. So it was agreed at a group meeting with managers and the staff that we all work together and get it. It's the only way we was going to do it within 2 weeks. So we started working 12-hour shifts, taking 1 day off, and 1 day on, 1 day off. And this was we all worked really well as a team. Some of the team was quite upset as well, and myself and some of the other managers, we was talking to our colleagues about maybe what's next. Everybody was quite distressed about the closure, but we was very good, and we all worked well as a team.
Difficult situation there. I appreciate you sharing that with us, Paul. Thank you.
Very much so.
Thank you. And Kay, yourself?
Oh, sorry, it's been such a long time. Could you repeat the question, please?
I can, yes. The question was in 2 parts. So firstly, how do you feel you work as part of a team? And then secondly, give an example of when you've worked positively with other team members, if you would, Kay.
Yeah, so I mean, you know, like I've said before, I am just such a great team player. I get on well with everyone. We have a laugh, you know, it works well. So, you know, when we have customers come in, we have a laugh with them, you know, so I just think the whole thing works well. It's just my personality, you know, I'm just friendly. Yeah.
Okay, Kay, thank you. And Lavinia, with yourself?
Yep. So I think I work well as a team member. I think I'll get stuck in, and if anybody needs a hand, I'll certainly help if I can, if I've got the time. I think an example is in my previous role, team leaders were tasked to carry out risk assessments, which would mean that we'd have 4 staff on, and it would mean that the team leader would have to do a risk assessment, and we'd have to be out of the shop all day doing the risk assessment or out and about. And that would mean that if the shop had busy periods, there was no one else to cover the tills, and so the front of house staff would really struggle. So I came up with an idea of how we could maybe make that a bit more easier, so that we could chunk the work so that everyone got a chance to do it, and that no one was ever left working alone. So yeah, the result of that was then it took the pressure off everyone else, and that we could deliver the work equally, and everyone got a fair share. No one was ever, working too much, or So.
Yeah. That's lovely. Thank you very much. So we're nearly there. We're progressing through. So if we could just keep your attention for a little bit longer, would be lovely. So final question from me here in this section is, could you tell me about what attracted you to the job as team leader within our store retail group? Paul, we'll start off with yourself.
Yes. Well, Food Fast being a direct competitor of CSRG, I understood the role of the company, and as I said, with my 17 years experience, it will be doing more or less what I was doing before the company closed. So yeah, I would still be there, to be quite honest, but this is more or less a like-for-like job, so I'm sure I would fit in perfectly.
Okay. Thank you, Paul. Thank you. And Kay, yourself?
Well, one of the biggies for me is the fact that where I'm working at the minute is quite a way away from where I live, and actually you're on my doorstep, so I'll be able to walk to work, and I think it's handy having someone on the doorstep, so yeah, and looking at some of the areas like the benefits for the company. Not sure about the annual flu jab, but the other benefits, they're pretty good. I think you look after your staff, and I'd look after your shop. So yeah.
Thank you, Kay. It's nice to see the package that you recognise the package that we've got, and it is a good company to work for. Thank you. Lavinia, how about yourself?
Yeah, so I really liked, and I think what drew me to apply for this job is your ethos and your values. I really appreciate those, and I think they match my own. I've got experience in this kind of work before, and I've been to your shop a few times, and I've really enjoyed the experience, and it looks and feels like a wonderful company to work for.
Lovely, thank you. I'm going to hand you over to Katie for the next question.
Okay, thank you. So just to summarise them from those individual questions, I'd like to ask you what customer service means to you. So, Paul, what does customer service mean to yourself?
Right, well, I've just been looking at the job description again, and the answers I've prepared for you are not really relevant. I was more on the delivery side and the in the warehouse, and this is more front of house. So I'm afraid I'll have to pass on this one because, as I said, I should have read the job description a little bit more thoroughly. So I beg your pardon. I'm sorry.
Okay, no problem, Paul. But thank you for being honest anyway. Thank you. So, Kay, so what does customer service mean to you?
Well, obviously I have read the job description, and as far as I'm concerned, customer service, I've said I'm on the doorstep. So where I am now, it's a repeat customer, isn't it? It's people coming in because they like you and they enjoy, coming in for a chit chat. So I think, in terms of that customer service, it's my friendliness, and also the fact that I would benefit your company because I would draw people in. you know, I think they would travel to come to wherever I'm working. So I just think that shows that, you know, my ability with customer service is spot on.
Okay, great. Thank you, Kay. And Lavinia, what does customer service mean to you?
To me, it means delivering a timely and attentive and upbeat service to customers that works positively and reflects the business.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Some great answers there. Excellent. So I think as we've reached the close now, has anyone got any questions for myself and Linda?
Yeah, I'd like to. Oh, sorry, Paul, you go ahead.
I was going to say when we'll be notified to the successful candidate.
We'll be making decisions over the next week. So by next Friday, we will be in contact with the successful candidate and let everybody know the outcomes.
Thank you.
There was one thing. Sorry, what's your name? Lavinia. There was one. Sorry, I did want to just ask about the shifts because it says that you've got weekend shifts. And I just wondered, as team leader, would I be doing the rota? You know, sort of setting out who's doing what and when.
You do the rota, but there is an expectation that the team leaders follow the same patterns as the members of the team. So by leading, you are actually expected to work weekends as well within that. And that's in our company ethos, as you'd expect.
Yeah. So but I would be able to sort of pick and choose being team leader then.
You're expected to, sorry, are you saying you don't want to work the weekend shifts?
I don't mind working the odd one, but as team leader, I just thought, you know, I'll be able to.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, we can choose a bit.
The policy that we have, which will stay in place, is to make sure that team leaders lead by example, and they are expected to do the same amount of unsocial shifts as our team members as well. So that keeps the team spirit moving, as you'd expect in retail, because the weekends are very busy. Any other questions?
No.
Yeah, I've got two.
Sorry,
It's all right. It's okay.
Sorry, Lavinia, you carry on.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I've got two. I just wanted to know. So I read on your website that you have developmental opportunities for your staff. Could you just explore those a little bit with me?
Yes, we have a dedicated training department, and they're based at head office and work throughout the stores. We train all the managers in development of their staff, and there is a certificated programme that we run through that covers all the legislations, food hygiene, health and safety, customer service sections, and it's in the process of going through national accreditation, so it will be recognised by people outside of our organisation as well.
That's brilliant. Thank you. That sounds really great. And just another one. What are your favourite things about managing this service?
Oh, that's a hard one, isn't it, Katie?
I think for me, it's very much around the team. You know, we do have such an amazing team already in place. So, and this is why it's so important for us to make sure that we get the team leader that's really going to fit in and, you know, keep everyone's spirits up as well. That's why we've asked, you know, questions around our busy periods of time, definitely, because it's essential that we're all working well together, and that's going to obviously benefit ourselves. Absolutely.
That's brilliant. Thank you ever so much.
All right. There's just some final formalities that we need to do that we'll go through, and we'll also thank you for the interview. So we'll do that in the next part of this interview process.